Welcome to Inside the Audition, the podcast where we go behind the scenes for a deep dive look into the world of auditions. I'm Joe Lars Larson, creator of Actors Audition Club, an international community helping actors book your dream roles in TV, film, and theater.
And I'm Brandon Knox, actor, producer, and co-host. Each episode, we chat with actors and industry professionals to share their audition experiences, insights, and advice.
We provide actors with actionable tips, strategies, and resources to help you elevate your auditions.
We demystify the often intimidating and misunderstood world of auditions to help you succeed.
So whether you're just starting out on your acting journey or you're a seasoned pro, join our Actors Audition Club members as we go Inside the Audition. Hey, here we are at Inside the Audition, episode 129. How you doing, BK Broiler?
I am doing well. How about you, Lars?
I'm fantastic, mainly because our guest today, we've been thinking about having him on for a long time. I think we may have even asked him a few times, but it's been a long time coming. We're going to have a fantastic time with our guest. So I think we should just get right into it. I don't even want to talk about what you had for lunch or what you did this week or any fun anecdotes from around the city of Toronto. Certainly don't want to hear anything about the Toronto Maple Leafs. We're just going to get right into it. I think we're going to start with a little clip and then we'll bring him into the studio.
Let's do it. You want to say the magic words?
Roll the clip.
The algorithm? What are we going to do? Like, for example, the other day I was mad and I tweeted something like in the moment, the heat of the moment. I went, I'm mad. I could kill someone. 2 seconds later, I get a sponsored ad from the cops that says, don't. How did they know? There's people out there that are like, hey, listen, they want to put microchips in your blood. Be careful so they can track everything and know everything about you. Be careful, microchips in the blood. You know, and my thing is like, well, the Domino's Pizza app has all that. They know everything about me. I get emails from Domino's that are like, we see you. We know you're sad right now. You want a Hawaiian pizza? You have enough money in your bank account.
Domino's knows.
Yeah, that's great. So the algorithm knows, man. The algorithm knows.
Oh, yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, make sure if you're watching right now live on Facebook or YouTube, share this out to your friends. Let's get the audience up for this guy. Our guest today, Chris Locke. He's an actor, writer, performer, stand-up comedian based in Toronto. You've seen him on What We Do in the Shadows, Run the Burbs, Baroness Von Sketch Show, Mr. D. You've seen him in the feature film Filth City. He's a creator, writer, and performer on a Canadian Comedy Award-nominated Learning Nature with Chris Locke. You can see that on Funny or Die. He's also the co-host of Evil Men podcast with Michael Balazo and James Hartnett. And on top of all that, you can watch his stand-up special, Captain Bones, on Crave. And he's one of our favorites here in the studio at Actors Audition Club and Laughing Vikings in Toronto. We love him. Please welcome to the studio, Chris Locke.
Yeah.
Hey. How's it going?
What's up?
Fantastic. Good to see you. How are you, buddy?
Good intro. I forgot about some of that stuff.
Yeah, your bio's quite long. So shout out to Grand Wave Entertainment for snipping that bio on your agency page for us as well, too.
Oh, sweet.
Although it needs to be updated. What We Do in the Shadows and Run the Burbs was not on your agency bio. So
that wasn't his agency bio. It was his IMDb. So you need to update your IMDb.
There you go.
Oh.
That's on you, Chris.
Right.
Oh.
And Captain Bones wasn't on there as well, too. So that's on Crave. Yeah, check out Crave. You can see his special. Welcome. Things are good.
Nice to be in the studio.
Yeah.
Yeah, things are good, I guess. I just made a tea. I like drinking tea. How are you guys doing?
We're good, man.
Good.
Yeah, we've
got
had
coffee.
Busy day at the studio. Yeah, we've got cheers, tea and coffee. Shout out Country Style Donut is not a sponsor. Cheers. There we go. All right, Mr. Locke.
Yeah.
First of all, just to our listeners and viewers, we'll get into this, but you, I think, are naturally one of the funniest people that we've ever met. Almost to your own chagrin, like just standing at rest, you're hilarious. And I know sometimes that bugs you. You're like, I don't want to be just funny to look at, but that mustache, your mustache needs its own agent, I think.
Mm-hmm. Well, Lars, you're naturally funny as well. The only thing is you're not aware of it.
Right. I guess none of us are aware of it. Yeah.
Yeah. You make people laugh too, Lars.
Thank you. Thank you. I try my best. Yeah. All right.
But thank you very much. I do think that comedy runs in my blood. I'm a silly man by nature. My family is silly. We actually have clowns in my family history. So yeah, something must be genetic a bit. I don't know.
All right.
I'm not being super funny right now, but I don't know.
There's no fun.
Can you make balloon animals? Yeah. Like, were you taught at a young age to make balloon animals?
I was taught at a young age to make balloon parents.
Oh, nice.
That's
full scale.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Well, I needed them, right? I was all alone. All I had was 2 balloons for years.
And then they'd drive you to soccer practice.
Yeah, and then pop in front of all my friends.
Much to the other kids' horror.
Yeah. It was weird because they were balloon parents, but even still, when they popped, blood and guts went everywhere.
Right. Yeah, no one ever figured that out.
Oh,
but then you got all the
I said my parents had high blood pressure. That's what it was.
You got all that orphan sympathy though ever since that day. You're like, oh, Chris, his parents blew up in front of us. Poor
endless
kid.
line of girls wanting to date me because I was an orphan.
A balloon parented orphan.
Yeah, they thought that was pretty hot.
Well, now that we've talked exactly about what we planned on talking about, your balloon parents and their horrific death, we have a little segment that we like to call 1 minute life story. Brandon is going to put a clock up on screen, and you're going to tell us, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Inside the Audition. This is Chris Locke's 1 minute life story, and action.
About anything?
Your life.
Well, I am Toronto born and raised. Grew up mostly in Etobicoke area. And I just, in high school, I liked getting high and partying with my friends and goofing around. And I had the idea that I just want to make a living off of laughing with my friends. Then I kind of tried to go to university and I was just being the same old goof and I dropped out. Then I started doing stand-up and especially taking Second City improv classes for a bunch of years. That got me into doing sketch with friends and improv and got me on TV. And then to have more control over my life and my comedy, I started writing and performing stand-up. So now I've been doing stand-up and acting for a total of 20 years, basically. And I'm married with kids. Yeah, well, 2 minutes left. I may as well mention my family.
Yeah, you slip that in right under the wire. That was great. And you know what? I was thinking about you earlier.
I mean, 2
today.
seconds left. I said 2 minutes, but yeah, I saw 2 seconds and I was like, I'll mention the gang.
Pre-podcasts, you know, I like to think about our guests and what we're going to talk about, and that's something that I often forget about my friends and peers who have kids, because like I don't, Brandon doesn't, and it's so much to think about when you're a performer, just the whole career, and obviously you're thinking of your writing, you're thinking of your shows, and you're thinking.
But you guys try every night to get married and have kids, right?
It doesn't work out.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah,
it's like auditioning. You got to keep putting yourself out there, trying different shirts on.
I hang out
trying different
accents.
Chapels. Where?
You hang out where?
Outside wedding chapels.
Oh yeah.
Oh nice. Yeah.
Sometimes the guy doesn't show up, and I can just.
That's your problem, yeah. I guess, but the odds of that Yeah, you're usually standing out there. They come out married already.
Usually, yeah, and it's quite disappointing for me.
That's
Yeah.
I've switched over to funerals. I walk through a grave site every day.
That's a good idea for you, Brandon, because I feel like it would help you to be around sad women more.
Yeah, I do well with sad people.
I mean, sad people, whatever, whatever you like, whatever you want.
I don't. You know,
I didn't mean to insinuate that you only want women. You want sad anybody. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Yeah, sad anybody.
Sad anybody, please give Brandon a shout.
Come on. I'm a Leaf fan. You know I'm loyal.
Yeah, now we know he's sad too.
Yeah. You grew up in Etobicoke, you know.
Honestly, my stepdad, who I grew up with, is from Montreal, so he's been a Habs fan all his life. So it wasn't that hard for me for most of the time. Yeah, we had a decent team when I was a kid.
Yeah, that must be nice. I don't know that feeling, so.
Oh, Brandon's filled with a lot of trauma and PTSD.
Ah!
Patrick Waugh's parents lived a block away from us.
Oh, really?
Oh,
cool.
Yeah, and we got to tour around his house one time, and I think they had a Stanley Cup in the basement, or it was like a replica or something. I don't know. Pretty cool, eh?
He won.
Super cool.
He won 3 or 4 of them, so he has enough to spare.
Yeah. There you go. In Etobicoke. I don't think they're still there. But...
Incredible.
Yeah.
I want to know, Chris, before we get into some acting stuff and audition stuff, what was your first stand-up show ever? Where was it? How did that go down?
I did the open mic in September of 1999. I was kicked out of my parents' house. I was living on friends' couches. I didn't think I could go back to university on academic probation if I wanted to, but I really was anxious and I don't think I wanted to. And like I said, I was always a goof, always like wanting to be funny and being funny. And so me and my friend, my friend Colin, we promised to go do the open mic at Einstein's Pub.
Wow, I know
on college. Yeah, that's a long time ago though.
That's
99. The end of 99 was the first time I got on stage by myself. But anyway, so we signed up in August and didn't get on till like mid to late September something. And by the time it came, Colin chickened out and only I did it. And then I was kind of hooked, but I didn't have the drive yet. I was still confused and like maybe did a couple more open mics and then found pretty gross and bizarre. and then it's kind of luckily signed up for Second City courses in like 2000. That's when I started doing that. And I really liked playing with other people and improvising and laughing like that. Mm-hmm.
Did Colin ever start?
Nope.
No.
But we're not super tight anymore, but I think he's pretty successful in the like video game development and stuff like that. Okay. So Colin's doing great.
It worked out. Yeah.
Nice.
Shout out
He's doing better than me, probably.
glad it all worked out for Colin.
He definitely made the right decision. Yeah. I'm still a fool all these years later trying. You know what it's like in this career, comedy and acting and in Toronto and especially Canada. It's like you're basically rebranding yourself and reinventing yourself every day and reintroducing yourself to the industry every day.
And like the first 5 years of doing this, you get paid in beer, chicken wings, and nuggets of weed. Doritos.
Yeah, or just some nuggets of anything.
Yeah, any kind of nuggets. I'll take a nugget.
Chicken nuggets. Yeah.
You would like
Gold
that.
nugget?
Yeah.
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 What was your first?
I wish.
What was your first professional booking? TV, film, commercial?
Well, so through Second City, I met my good friend Brian Barlow, and we started this sketch troupe called The Gurg. And we were pretty insane, and it was very fun because even though we were sketch, a lot of it was we did like skeletal outlines and then of what we wanted the sketch to be, and then we'd improvise a lot and basically make each other laugh, and it was really insane. And so that got the attention of lots of people, and we got to do the Cream of Comedy in 2003. And back then it was still a TV show, so it was a big deal. You had to do a lot of
nice.
Yeah, I actually started my actor apprentice from doing the Cream of Comedy, and then through just getting picked for that, I booked my first commercial without an agent or out being full actor. And my friend, who's a good friend still to this day, directed it. Derek Horn, really good director. He actually shot and edited My Learning Nature web series that was on Funny or Die,
which was hilarious, by the way. That was great.
Thanks. It was literally just me and Derek in the woods acting crazy and turning it into a story and stuff.
Oh, you can tell. Yeah. That was great. I remember when you came out with that. All those snippets that you were posting were amazing. They're great.
Nice. Thanks.
Yeah. So what was the commercial? What was it for?
It was American. It was Roadrunner internet service. And I had to respond to a tennis ball on a stick as if it was the real Roadrunner running by me. And so that was a neat peek behind the magic. But I also this was my first time where I really learned the hard way about having a lav mic on all the time. I've always been a sarcastic punk, a real bastard, and I think I was making fun of some of the corny stuff of the commercial while I was on set, and Derek came over and was like, yeah, so you got the mic on and all the clients can hear you and stuff. So yeah, that was a tough lesson. I mean, I'm always grateful for work, but I still can't help being a little shit, you know what I mean?
Right. Oh, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah. Can you share, I mean, this business is crazy. The stuff we do is insane in auditions and on set. Can you share a memorable audition experience story, either back in the days of being in person or just something weird that you've been asked to do or a big one that you landed?
I mean, in my 20s was more commercial stuff, and that stuff got pretty insane. I remember one time I had to act like I was super excited about finding a golden Kraft Dinner macaroni and cheese noodle. And I was wearing a black shirt that was full of cat hair. And every time I moved my body, cat hair would float around the audition room. And I just kept laughing at the whole nonsense of, and no offense, whoever watches this, maybe it's important to learn this, but marketing clients and creatives, they really, in commercial industry, they really think that they have the most important job on the planet. A lot of them. Some of them are really freaking cool, obviously, but there's this weird vibe where creating commercials, it's not, I don't know, it's not cool. It's not like hanging out like comedy friends or acting friends. It's like they really want the separation between them and the talent. It's very uncomfortable feeling, and that's why I really enjoy not going out for commercials for years now, like at least 10 years. I don't, because that's not my idea of play. You know what I mean? I like to play with the creative people and have fun. So anyways, they were giving me the stink eye the whole time, and I couldn't stop laughing at the absurdity of the commercial itself. So then when I left the audition room, the casting director came out and told the huge waiting room of other portly, schlubby fellows waiting to play my character. They were like, okay, guys, you have to remember this commercial is not supposed to be funny. You're not supposed to laugh all the time. We don't understand why you would laugh at this. And I was like, oh, right. It's funny, guys. Trust me. It's okay.
Yeah. And
I don't mean to clearly, I don't mean to generalize, but I've had a lot of experience in the commercial auditioning world. I did a commercial once where directors and the clients drove me home, which was very, very nice, right? But whenever I would say something politely, like, I was stonewalled, completely ignored. So I've had like experiences like that on the commercial side.
Right.
So maybe it's not fair to be judgmental and generalize, but it seems the commercial world is a bit different than fun TV, movie, comedy, acting stuff.
Yeah, I know what you mean, and yeah, I've had.
I like fun. I like having fun.
Yeah,
Let's put it that way.
I think we've all had some great experiences, and we've had some not so great experience. And I think what you're
Definitely
explaining is often it's a case of like too many chefs for the soup or whatever.
Yeah,
too many chefs in the kitchen, because there'll be the
and there's a lot of
production company.
casting agents and directors who are there for the fun too. There's amazing directors that I've worked with that love comedy and love the talent. Yeah, it's not that side.
Yeah, and then there's there's often especially for anyone who's not not an actor, there's often like a whole gallery of like 6, 10, 8, 15 people from the agency who often sitting in another room, and after every take they'll come back and be like, yeah, can he bite that burger a little different, or like hold it in his left hand, or just like really small nitpicky things. So that can be challenging as an actor where you're getting that stuff from.
Yeah, I had a big beard once, not even that beard. It was late 2000s, early 2010s. Beards were all the rage for like kind of schlubby comedian guys, and I had one too. And a client or something, or creative, no, I think it was like a client said that to the director that I looked like a terrorist, and it's like, that's a good imagination you have there.
Right.
It's like so superficial, so judgmental. I'm losing work doing this podcast. Whatever.
Well, you're choosing the projects and the work and the people that you want to work with in future.
That's the thing. I'm at the stage now where I could tell you about a lot of the fun stuff too, for sure. Trust me. And I love that. That's what I look for. Let's
get to the fun. Actually, before we do that, I'll share another one of our members. I'll shout him out. Adam Langton told me a story where he was on set in a commercial, and one of the agency people came up right in front. So it's him, the director, and this agency person. And in front of him, like he wasn't there, the agency person said, I thought we were looking for like a macho, like strong type man. And he's just standing there being like, oh, okay, you're just not happy with who I am as a human being right now, and saying it in front of my face.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. I mean, that's just my personal preference to not really be in that world. But I know there's a million actors that have for sure like all kinds of crazy stories, way worse stories.
Some good money.
Yeah, that's what I mean about the dehumanization of the talent in that world. Right. You're like, ouch, dude.
So the lesson is actors are people too, agency people. We're human beings.
While I'm in the actors studio, the actors audition studio. So I'm gonna say, actors are people. Okay.
Right. Actors are people. Getting to the fun stuff, tell us about some fun on-set experiences. You've been on What We Do in the Shadows. You've been on Baroness Von Sketch Show, working.
Yeah, I mean, like Burbs, so far, I'm like a bit role guy. I'm like a little comedy character guy that they tuck into shows and movies for the most part. Luckily, I actually got to star in a movie this summer that's not out yet called Who's Your Father, directed by and written by Jeremy Larder. And it's me and Sue Kent starring in this crazy thing. And it was really great. It was like 4 weeks on every day, a number one on the call sheet, 12, 14-hour work days. It was the hardest I've ever worked in my life.
Yes.
And we busted our ass to make it really funny and also touching. So I'm really excited to see that. But I'm saying that not to brag about that gig, but also look out for it. But so usually, I show up, smaller parts, little goofy guy that's like, sorry or whatever, or, don't kill me.
Yeah, wacky neighbor. You're often wacky neighbor or quirky.
Yeah, that's right. I'm quirky neighbor that shows up sometimes on Run the Burbs too, which is really fun. Great set, full of great, lovely, hilarious people. That's a fun environment. This is what I'm talking about. Like TV and film, I've never experienced. Like it's usually very, very fun. People are there for the right reasons, it seems. But yeah, I got to. So speaking of small bit parts, I had one line in Mrs. America, that series that came out a few years ago, and I yell at Kate Blanchett's character, and I run and charge at her and pie her in the face. And
Amazing.
Of course, being on set with Kate Blanchett was like the biggest I've ever been starstruck. She's so amazing, and you know, we got to watch her do her scenes like all day, and it was just like, oh my god. So I imitated hitting her with the pie like 100 times, different angles, everything. But when it came time to the actual one take smushing, they got a stunt man to shave his head to look like mine, even like get my hand, everything. But you only see his hand, but he still shaved his head to have my bald pattern, just in case, I guess. But they needed a stuntman to safely, gingerly smush the pie into Kate Blanchett's face.
Right.
I guess I could do it too hard by accident, get in trouble or something, and hurt her. But
just picturing Kate Blanchett with a broken nose and blood pouring down her face because Chris Locke got a little too excited that day.
Yeah, I would be really sad about that. But yeah, I was starstruck being on set with her. But that was also, like I said, one line, but still like big scene. So I was on set all day, and yeah, that was really, really fun. And
That's
you can see it in
incredible.
an episode. Yeah, the Mrs. America. I'm the guy that pies her and yells like, "You're a traitor to your sex by waging a war against women."
Do you know
and
what
I run
episode?
and go, "Puh!" And then they slow me down, and the "Hey Ho, Let's Go" by the Ramones start, and then I do this savage look back, like I'm bad, and then I run away. It's really cool.
Nice. How did you not win an Emmy for that?
I know. What the hell?
Snubbed.
That was
Snubbed
Bryan
again.
Cranston level acting right there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one of these days you'll get your comeuppance.
Comeuppance?
Oh no, the other way.
Yeah.
The other way. You'll get your dues. Yeah.
Well, I agree with
If
you.
you throw a pie
Yeah.
in someone's
Yeah.
face, eventually a pie will be thrown in your face.
Right. Yeah.
It has to balance out.
Years from
I
now,
agree
an
with you.
award show, Kate Blanchett, or like an after party, a swanky Hollywood Hills after party. Kate Blanchett's gonna hire someone to shave her head. I don't know.
What?
She's
Yeah,
gonna
Kate
have
Blanchett is
really-
going to show up dressed like you and then pie you in the face.
I'm waiting for the day where Kate Blanchett says, "I miss that pie guy."
Yeah. In her autobiography, there's a whole chapter
Mm-hmm.
on just
Yeah,
that
the-
guy,
Yeah,
the
didn't you
one
read
that
that?
got away.
Yeah, the pie guy was really like shy. He didn't know how to talk to me, but he was really sweet.
Just so you know, she vouched the producers to give you your own spin-off show, just Pie
Yeah.
Guy spin-off.
Well, so that's a historical drama, and another thing that's cool about doing that little role was Aaron Kay or Aaron McKay. I think I'm getting the last name mixed up, but he was the real pie guy from the 70s. He really did that.
Oh,
So he
wow.
reached out to me on Twitter, and I got to learn about his real adventures of pieing people in the 70s. He's a real political activist.
Are you
pretty neat.
going to study with him?
He's in a different line of work than what I'm interested in, I think.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair.
Mhm. But I think I agree with his values for the most part. Yeah, he's a cool guy. So it's like funny. It's like I get this ding dong role. I was like saying to my agent, like, I don't know about this. It's like one line. Like I'm trying to do better these days. And I didn't know it was like with Kate Blanchett, and I'm doing a historically accurate. I'm portraying a historically accurate event as well. Interesting.
I think this is an episode of The Roles That Changed His Life. Nothing was ever the same after that day.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, that happens often in Canada. A role will change your life, and you're in the Canadian star system and you never look back. You never feel like you're starting from scratch every other day all over again. That's right.
Right. Yes, that was a
Canada
PSA.
is, they call it Hollywood North because Canadian celebs rule this country. We got a lot, and Canadian citizens love them, cherish them. Sarcasm, guys.
I was gonna say, I don't think I've never heard you be sarcastic before. It's a new thing. All right, what else can you tell
I
us?
do comedy shows still. Toronto's my home base. You know, I tour around doing stand-up. Toronto's my home base. I'll do a big show and kill and have a good time and all that. And people will go, "Where are you from?" Just
Right.
here, you know.
And
around the block.
Yeah, right over there by McDonald's.
like I saw you yesterday when I was buying a McDouble.
Yeah.
For the third time today. Yeah.
Yeah, you looked at me and said, "If that guy does comedy, I'm never gonna watch it." What? Why?
Speaking of comedy shows, you have one coming up. Brandon, throw that banner up. You have a birthday show coming up. Let's do a little mid-episode plug. We got Chris Locke live at his own birthday at Comedy Bar, which is at 945 Bloor Street West. That's next Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday, 9:30 at Comedy Bar. It's gonna be awesome. All
March
Canadian
7th.
showbiz, joking aside, doing comedy for a long time here and busting my ass, I seem to have garnered some fans. So I really appreciate everyone coming out and buying tickets. It's I think there's a few tickets left for this one. I sold out the Paradise Theater in early January recently, and that was quite the show. So as much as I'm joking, thank you very much to everyone who bought tickets already and has been coming out to these shows. This is awesome. Like you said, the Evil Men podcast I co-host with Mike Balazo and James Hartnett, they're co-hosting this live show. And we also have one of my new favorite comedians coming up. Rebecca Payne is doing a set. Jackie Pirico, who's like already a Toronto legend.
Hilarious.
She's got a huge fan base, killing it. She's doing a set. And of course, Sean Cullen, who I also collaborate with a bunch, is doing a set. And he's a Canadian legend in his own right, obviously. I don't even know how to explain Sean. If you don't know him, that's crazy.
Right. Yeah. So check out.
So it's going to be awesome.
Comedybar.ca. And speaking of Sean Cullen, I also love him. When I was younger, he was one of the people in Canadian comedy that I looked up to long before I was ever in it. We're doing a show in Bracebridge where he's going to be headlining. Laughing Vikings present Sean Cullen. I'll be hosting. That's March 31st at Bracebridge Hall. So for all the Muskokians, you can grab tickets at bbhall.ca. Once again, Sean Cullen, if you don't know who we're talking about, I don't know where you've been in the last 25 years of Canadian comedy, but yeah, he's hilarious. And that show too, Chris, I think I might have asked you on that date and you were tied up, but I think that's going to be a monthly. So we'll get you up to Bracebridge. So for all the Bracebridge listeners and viewers right now, Chris Locke is going to be coming your way eventually, one of these months here. But in the meantime, yeah, March 31st, you can see me and Sean, and March 7th in Toronto next Tuesday, this coming Tuesday. We're going to buy tickets to that too, Chris. I want to come and see that. Your shows are great. You're honestly, I know there's a weird thing sometimes when comedians say this to comedians, and not to blow smoke up your ass, but you're one of the funniest human beings I've ever seen. Your stand-up sets are just hilarious. So wild and crazy, unpredictable. I'd never know. And I never know. I'm like, is this all spur of the moment, just improv, crowd work, or is there method to the madness? And I think it's a little bit of both, but
it's all of it. Yeah. I write a bit, but I also like to be loose. Yeah.
Right.
Wow. Thank you very much. That's really nice. And that Bracebridge show with Sean will be so much fun for anybody. Yeah, go on. Well, it is true. I checked in with tickets yesterday. There's only a few left as of yesterday. So yeah, I hope.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we'll grab them right after we hang up here.
Yeah.
Sweet. Thanks, guys.
Can you tell us what advice would you give to your younger stand-up comic actor self?
You know what? I wasn't good at I was very low self-esteem for like the first 10 years of my career, if you could call it that, up and down, whatever. But so in my 20s, I was low self-esteem. I started going to therapy in my mid to late 30s when my first daughter was born, and then my dad passed away around the same time. And I was like, holy crap, I'm gonna explode. And so all my other comedian friends, of course, were like, go to therapy, it rules, dude. And I was on a road trip with Sarah Hennessy and Tom Henry, and they were like really huge proponents for therapy. I finally did it. So dealing with that stuff younger, I would definitely do that, because it makes you feel a lot more confident and free with who you are, and makes you find yourself a lot easier. And then also the fear that might come from like anxiety and insecurity isn't as punishing. So then if you need to travel more, which I regret not traveling like as much in my 20s, yeah, if you need to do that more, you will, because you'll feel more confident and secure in yourself, hopefully. If you're So I was really trapped in my head a bit in my 20s, and I would say work on that to be as free as possible and travel as much as you want, meet as many people as you can, and just keep getting those stage legs. Get on every show, bad ones, good ones. Every show helps you grow and get better. Don't be judgmental. Just look at it as learning, and have fun each show. Find a way to have fun in each environment. Yeah.
If we didn't have more questions for you, that would have been a mic drop advice to past former selves, especially
That's real.
The mental health stuff. I mean, everyone knows comedians and actors. There's so many stories of comedians having mental health issues, culminating sadly with suicide and things like that. So yeah.
I haven't done suicide yet, but we'll see.
Fuck. Let me tell you, if you're ever anywhere near that situation, you better fucking call me, and I will race to get to you, because the world needs more people like you to make them laugh. So
I'm fine, guys. I switch.
You.
I use the darkness to be funny, honestly.
Right. Yeah,
it's really, I have a dark sense of humor sometimes. It comes out. But it is funny. In my 20s, it was like, I love eating pizza and chips every day for dinner, and just watching 3 movies a day and from my bed, and then putting on weight. And it's funny looking back now. It's like, that was freaking hardcore depression,
right?
But you don't think to call it that at the time.
Yeah,
you're just like, it's funny to so I have the benefit of hindsight, as they say,
right?
But if you're young and you're feeling that stuff now, it would be interesting to look around and just do the self-help stuff, the mindfulness, whatever, it's me time, whatever. Take a you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I can look around and check it out.
I can vouch for that, and I think a lot of people do. It's like you don't sometimes you don't really realize it when you're in it, and then you just think back like, that was you're like, I'm not depressed, I'm just sleeping all day and watching only TV and not seeing anyone and not seeing any sunlight.
I genuinely love movies and pizza,
right?
But every day, all day, take it easy.
Yeah, that's great. That's great advice, Chris. Thank you for sharing that. Can you
no problem.
I also wanted to ask how, because I don't have any experience with this, Brandon doesn't, but how has having children changed your career and affected your outlook and obviously perspectives and priorities? It's the added complication of having more things in your life to juggle as well. But just talk a little bit about that. You've got 2 young girls, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't talk to them. I always tell them I'm busy, so it's fine. No, it's genuinely insane. It's a lot, but there's something about having a constant allotness, like just a constant rush of things that need to be done that actually keep you moving in a actually more organized function. It's easy to stay driven when you have a family to take care of, And my girls are like real little kids now. They're not like in baby form anymore or toddler form. They've turned into real kids.
Oh, yours grew up? Oh, wow.
Yeah, they kept going. And they're like so hilarious and interesting individually and together that it's like, yeah, it really helps you make a drive forward to prove that yeah, being who you want to be and being creative and, you know, making life fun is, you know, important. And yeah, they give you a drive to stay busy and create projects. And yeah, it's really nice, actually. Yeah, it's weird. It's like being married and having 2 kids while having this sort of independent kind of career where you have to be, like we were saying earlier, the self-starter a lot of the times. It seems like it could crush you, but there's sometimes it feels like it could, but it's really ultimately helps even more stay focused and driven, like I said.
Yeah, I think that's a common theme. I think a lot of people before they have kids are kind of scared shitless, or maybe thinking like, although this would never work, like how would I ever afford it? How would I ever have time? But I think that is what happens often is people end up stepping
I think,
up.
yeah, I think a lot of friends my age use like the money that I use to buy food and clothes and toys and stuff and books for my kids. I think they use that money for video games and alcohol.
Right. Right. And weed. Yeah.
Yeah, and weed. So I'm definitely not drinking as much. I'm not smoking as much. I don't play video games really anymore. So that also helps keep me focused.
Right. That's great.
No offense to my party animal friends who are getting older. I also envy your life. Don't worry. It sounds like a lot of fun. And some days I definitely wish I could still just do that.
Right.
When I go on the road, I get loose a little bit.
As you should. Yes.
Yeah.
So you've done tons of stuff, stand-up, TV. What is a dream project or role that you aspire to create?
Well, I think I mean, I have a bunch of ideas. So yeah, but there is an edge to me. There is a darkness, which I really enjoy. And making that movie this summer, I'm basically like a silly guy. I lose my temper and stuff sometimes, and things get a bit crazy, but it's a very slapsticky, silly comedy. I would love to play either a recurring role on a show or like, yeah, a star or co-star in a movie where I'm accessing the darkness a bit more. And I think, Brandon, you've seen that a little bit in some of the auditions I've got.
Yeah, I've seen that too.
Yeah, like the one the other day, there wasn't much to that role, but I got to just not do much, which was really cool because it was all in the dude's head. And then, you know, he had a panic moment at the end. But I would love to I love like darker creeps and scary people as characters. They're way more interesting than good guys, you know what I mean? Like the good guy is always like, you always love the bad guy, like what's his name, what's that amazing like Southern American actor that, you know, Tarantino started using, and he shows up in like Danny McBride comedies now all the time, but do you know what I'm talking about? He's one of like the best actors out there right now. You know, he plays the white-haired priest in the Righteous Gemstones. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
You guys.
Not John Goodman. John Goodman?
No.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember John Goodman's name.
Okay.
You fools. No.
What Tarantino movie was he in?
Django Unchained and the Snow one, whatever what it's called.
Oh, not Christoph.
Oh, Walton Goggins. Walton Goggins.
Oh, okay.
I feel so bad for forgetting Walton Goggins' name. But if you ever watch the series Justified, he came on as this bad guy as a counter to the sheriff, you know, and was basically supposed to die in the first season, I think. But he became a leading role in the rest of the whole series, and his story arcs were just as important, or sometimes more important than the leads, because his bad guy was so captivating and multidimensional, and it's one of the best performances ever. And then, of course, Walton Goggins has, I'm sure, had his pick of the litter for roles ever since then. And as you see, he's cruising through. Well, you guys didn't know who I'm talking about, but yeah, he's. And even if you watch The Hateful Eight, that's the other Tarantino one.
Right.
He's kind of got a bit role in that, and even in the movie, you start realizing, like, no, wait, he's kind of the centerpiece role, like, and he's just so dynamic, and I love that kind of stuff. I love it when you can tell that a bad guy is conflicted within themselves for various reasons as well, and yeah, there's all kinds of factors that lead to their decisions, you know.
Yeah, not just like we always talk about no bad guy or villain really thinks they're the bad guy. They think they've somehow justified it or done the mental gymnastics in their head to justify why what they're doing is necessary, and they need to do it. And often they're quite charming and quite fun, and have their silly moments as well, like all human beings too. I've got a fun synchronicity too. Another actor that you were mentioning last time when you were in the studio earlier in the week here, you mentioned Scoot McNairy.
Yeah, I like all the character actors. Also, yeah. Okay, what were we gonna say?
Well, the synchronicity is that same night I randomly threw on Once Upon a Time in Hollywood just to watch that again. And
yeah, there you go.
Scoot McNair's in that too.
Yeah, see, he's got a small role, but then look at that role, completely memorable. But he's not a bad guy. He's like Scoot's like a, but Scoot's character in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. No, wait, was it Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, doesn't he get his
he's on set
face smashed? Right. Isn't that him?
He plays an actor playing a cowboy that gets shot on the TV show.
Oh, right.
On the porch of the saloon.
Right.
But another incredible. Speaking of Scoot, they were in a movie together with these two actors, Ben Mendelsohn. So Ben Mendelsohn is like, he plays the bad guy in Rogue One, but he's an old Australian actor that's got like just a dynamic career, incredible. But if you watch season 1 of the HBO show, I think it's HBO, called Bloodline, he has an arc just for the first season, and honestly, it's really hard to watch the show after he's gone, because he is just like, man, I would aspire to be anything like, who was I talking about? Ben Mendelsohn or Walton Goggins, any kind of character like that. I think because I come at it independently and very amateurish through comedy, and like that's how I got my experience. I don't think I could ever pull off something like that like those guys can, but man, those kind of character roles are my that's something I would aspire to.
I gotta disagree with you there, Chris. I
put my money on you. Yeah, you got it. And now 100%. We got it out. We put it out to the world too. So it is.
Well, I mean, the other thing too about being a creator is like, maybe I'll just create a project that 10 people see, but I'll get to do it my way and do that, you know?
Right.
Yeah. So you're never really giving up on that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think I've told,
but thanks, guys. I appreciate the compliment. Sorry to cut you off.
No worries. I've told Brandon this. I don't know if I've told you this, but long term for Laughing Vikings, my long term goal, like at top level, would be to get Laughing Vikings into the realm of Happy Madison or Heartbeat Productions, where I can just greenlight my friends' projects. Be like, yeah, what's the Chris Locke untitled project? Here's $5 million to go make that. Yeah, if I had a bank full of money right now and a few horses to bet on, you'd be one of those horses, Chris, for sure. So 100%. So the second I got a spare $5 million, you got it.
Okay, well, I hope you find $5 million one day.
Yeah,
he gets behind the scrim.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's kicking around here in the studio somewhere.
Yeah, it might be outside. Honestly,
buried it.
$5 million. It might be outside.
Yeah, under an X that's marked the spot.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about your audition process routines? Just from the time you get an audition from your agent to the time that you're shooting it with us. How do you normally approach it?
Should I tell the real one or a good one, or should I be real?
Well, I would say average. I know sometimes we're like under a deadline, we're underprepared. Sometimes we have more time, but
the thing that is if I book an hour with you guys, sometimes, yeah, the first 40 minutes are really learning the role with you guys. That's why I appreciate working with you guys. Because here's an instance where having kids at home and also a busy wife who works her ass off too makes it a bit difficult. I don't learn the roles by myself. I can read the scripts and kind of easily get a sense of who my character is and build that in my mind. But when it comes to actual lines, I can't get them down unless I'm running them with someone. So that's a hard thing for me. And doing this movie, which was insane, like I said, I was on set every day. Luckily, basically, Susan Kent and I, who's from 22 Minutes, Trailer Park Boys, she's a genius. We basically lived beside each other for that whole month. And so even when we weren't on set, we had these giant binders of scripts doing the script, like the lines all night, all morning. So it's like, I need that. I can't learn them on my own. It's insane, unless it's kind of obviously like a small little role. But usually, yeah, I come in to you guys or whoever is running it with me, and I say, we got to run this a bunch of times. I will know how I want to play it, and of course, you find it more when you start getting the lines down. You can play even more. But I come in knowing how I want to play it, and then I got to nail those lines. That's the thing. So the lines are kind of like second, and I need somebody to help me with those. But once they're in, and then I'm really playing and having a fun time. That's great. And then I like to riff a little bit, improvise, add my own stank to it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, add his own stank to it. I like that. Tom,
I'll be honest, like I'm I think I'm really in tune with like emotional drives and feelings and stuff like that. I don't do a huge background thing with characters. I don't go, this is their story, this is what led them to this part, this is what they want. Like, I don't always do that. The script is great, usually, so you can tell what beat they're kind of looking for in the script, and you can play it believable based on that to a degree, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But if I'm not doing a huge project where they're asking me to create such a world for this character, then I kind of don't do it. I like it. It keeps you less live in the moment, I feel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think
and then the honesty gets sapped out a bit if you're like, I have to hit these beats because I'm this person. Whereas if you're interacting with another person, I actually feel like the acting comes across more honest if you're live with that person.
I like it. Yeah, and it's different strokes.
That's why I like working with you guys, because we do so many takes that by the time we're finding the good take that I want to show people, I'm living as this guy with the other character.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's my favorite trajectory for doing that.
Yeah, and like as you said, like we explore the scene for about 30-40 minutes, and like we're finding stuff as we go, and we're finding stuff that we can add for the take that we do want to send, and like it makes for a really good exploration of what we do for over that hour, because we find a lot of things, and we're able, and especially you're so good at improv, and you're so good at like picking things up and like hearing how like or finding different ways as to how words may sound and stuff like that. So like it's good for it's good for you, and that's the main thing that we always try to get across here at Actors Audition Club is like what's good for you may not work for somebody else, but like it's your process. It's something that makes you better for doing it, right?
Well, honestly, there's no doubt that I've become a better actor over the years doing my auditions with you guys. And when I recommend you to other actors, and I know you don't need my recommendations as much, you have a lot of clients, but when I do recommend, I'm like, it's not just so that the audition, you're not bugging someone to be a reader, and the audition does look nice because you do it professionally. But I would say the main drive for me to book it with you guys, because I'll do it in my dining room if I need to rush one, but I don't want to, because it's like I actually, if we're paying for it, I actually use you guys to help me build the scene in a way more rich way than I would if I'm grabbing my wife and being like, help quickly, just shoot this, and then me and her do like 3 maybe 4 takes max, and we're like, okay, it's off. It's like, no, I need to like live in it for a bit. And as you guys say, like in between takes, or you've seen in between takes, I do like karate kicks and swear, and like you just have that, you live in the space and you find it and you get loose, way more loose. So I really appreciate that.
Yeah, it's great. We love working with you too. Yeah. And one of my favorite things is when it is something that might be dubbed more dramatic, is the silliness in your bones just comes out. Like you can focus for a few minutes for the scene, but the second it's the end of the scene, you always snap out of it and say something hilarious that cracks me up behind the camera too. So it's
it's like my
there was a couple maybe like a year or two ago. I don't know what it was for, but and this is rare. I can usually keep my shit together, but I was just cracking up. I couldn't stop laughing behind, and it wasn't at all a comedic scene. I think you were a mean sheriff or something like that.
Oh yeah.
And I was just giggling like a schoolgirl behind the camera.
Yeah. Well, it's like, I guess it's like once the performing adrenaline is up, even when the take is over, you're still like, bleh, what I mean?
Right.
So it's fun to play. And that's also why, hey, I got Run the Burbs. I auditioned for Run the Burbs at your place.
Yeah.
That was our first session together, Chris.
Oh. Yeah. Maybe that's why I keep booking through you now. It's like you're my lucky charm.
That's right.
Maybe.
But also I know that Lars is always doing classes and stuff.
Brandon too. I think the biggest thing with both Brandon and I is that we've really had the same coach, so we speak the same language and we look at scenes the same, very similar, and we have the same language, directorial language as a result of that. Through shout out to Tom Todoroff, which is really helpful. Yeah. All right. Sweet. I think we're gonna start bringing this ship back to port here. Brandon, anything else? Do you have any more questions for Chris?
Yeah, I think. Did we have a website that we wanted to talk to Chris about?
Oh yes. We almost made a terrible mistake, Chris. I don't know if you realize this. I thought maybe you had a little side hustle. Bring it up, Brandon, because when we went to grab your bio and some links, we found chrislockchef.com. Chris Locke is a British-born chef established in Toronto with a strong focus on locality,
kills me,
seasonality, and sustainability.
Why does he have to be in Toronto? I know he's better looking, he's more successful, and he's in freaking Toronto too. It's not even like he's in a different city. It's insane.
So this has come up, huh?
Yeah.
Do people call you asking if they could get a reservation at your restaurant or something?
No one has thought I'm the chef. I wonder if he knows about me.
Right.
But I don't think so. I think he's doing fine.
You guys should do a dinner and a show, a little collab. Chris
Locke
and Chris Locke.
Chris Locke show.
Yeah.
Okay, get this guy's promo out of here. I can't believe it. It's like there can be another Chris Locke in Toronto, sure, but to be like a famous chef, it's like, come on, get your name out of the newspapers. What the hell? I need that for me.
I'm sure he wishes he was a stand-up comic and actor. He's like, oh, that life seems more fun. All right. Thanks so much for popping on, Chris. Let's throw that banner up. Make sure to grab tickets. There's only a few left. The Chris Locke's birthday show at Comedy Bar, 945 Bloor Street West, March 7th at 9:30. comedybar.ca. Literally at the end of this podcast, we're going to hop on. Hopefully there's still a few tickets left. We're going to grab ours. So we
Cool.
will see you. I've also got
Thanks.
a buddy, an actor buddy that you might have met him here. It's his birthday on the 7th too. So I'm going to message him. Maybe he'll have his birthday party at Comedy Bar for your birthday.
Cool. All right. Yeah.
All right, Chris.
Thanks so much.
We love you. Thank you so much. You're the best. All the best.
Yeah.
And,
Thanks. Thanks for having me, and thanks
we'll see
for
you
helping
soon.
me all the time. It really does help a lot. I appreciate it.
Of course. You're welcome. Thank
Appreciate you.
you.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye, Chris.
Bye.
Bye. Got it.
Man, I love Chris Locke. Yeah, make sure you check him out. You can see him in What We Do in the Shadows, Baroness Von Sketch Show, Run the Burbs, Working Moms. Yeah, so many things. And watch his stand-up special too, Captain Bones on Crave. What else? We want to just wrap up with a couple things. Reminder that Sean Cullen and myself will be at Bracebridge Hall, March 31st. 8 p.m. and you can grab tickets at bbhall.ca. So all my hometown Aurelia friends, anybody that I know in the Muskoka area, and people that I don't know in the Muskoka area, grab tickets. BB Hall, Bracebridge Hall is a great venue. It's very small and intimate. I think there's only 65 tickets available. So you can grab those now. And Sean Cullen is a Canadian icon. You've seen him on Mad TV. You've seen him on The Tonight Show, Canadian Comedy Awards, Just for Laughs. His resume is insane, and he's just insanely funny. And Chris Locke and Sean Cullen often work together. So if you ever see a show that has Chris Locke and Sean Cullen on it, that is like, I don't know, it shouldn't even be legal. It should be illegal to have that much funny on one show. Someday it probably will be. There'll be some dystopian world where Chris Locke and Sean Cullen are not able to perform on the same bill because it's just too much for people. Anything else going on around here in the stew? Do you want to talk about? We got any highlights?
Not that I can think of. No.
Well, something I can think of. This is March. This is March 1st. So happy March.
Oh, yeah.
And we just made a post last night that we've opened up 5 more spots to Actors Audition Club. So for any of those actors who at the beginning of the year in January, February, if you were didn't pull the trigger to join, now's the time. And the first 5 who will shoot us a message and want to join will also get their first audition session free when they join Actors Audition Club. So you can claim one of those 5 spots and join. You can go to laughingvikings.com/AAC. Or you can just DM us the word audition on social media, Instagram, Facebook. Shoot us a DM with the word audition, and we'll reach out with the details on how to help you get enrolled. But as I mentioned, the first 5 actors who enroll here to get started at the beginning of this month here in March, you guys will get your first session free with Actors Audition Club. So we have a full day. We already had a handful of sessions here at the studio. We got the podcast. I think we've got a 3:30, 4:30, 5:30, 6:30 here at the studio. So I think we got to call it a day here and get ready for our sessions. One more time, thanks for Chris Locke. Check him out March 7th. That's Tuesday, March 7th at Comedy Bar, 9:30 p.m. And hopefully you'll see us there too.
Goodbye.